Only in Australia would we name the Army's new armoured four-wheel drive after one of the country's most highly venomous death adders, the Ancanthaphis Hawkei. A snake which was in turn named after a former Australian Prime Minister who held a Guinness World Record for sculling 2.5 litres of beer in just 11 seconds. And like the Hawkei snake, one of the world's deadliest reptiles, the Hawkei Protected Mobility Vehicle is set to become the master of Australia's northern expanses as the Army takes advantage of its mobility and protection to rapidly get to where they need to go. But what is the Hawkei? Where are they being built and what will they cost? Perhaps most importantly, what new capabilities will they bring to the Australian Army? I'm Pikos and today we're talking tactics. The Australian Army's Land Rover 110s provided decades of reliable service, both within Australia and on deployments overseas, including in East Timor, Afghanistan and Iraq. However, the unarmoured Land Rovers were found to be particularly vulnerable to landmines and improvised explosive devices. So when it came to replace the Land Rover, the Army decided to replace it with two types of vehicle. About 2/3 would be replaced by the also unarmoured G-Wagons, while the remaining third would be replaced by armoured protected mobility vehicles. These were essentially conceptualised as an armoured Land Rover. This change recognised the increasing lethality of the modern battlefield and the need for a level of protection to soldiers undertaking a wider variety of missions. In modern warfare, even away from the front lines, rear echelon vehicles are increasingly encountering mines, IEDs and rifle fire, and so even some of the lightest and smallest utility vehicles need to be armoured. But these vehicles need to balance manoeuvrability, speed, firepower, troop or cargo capacity, and protection. The vehicle chosen to fill this role was the locally designed and manufactured Hawkei. Now let's buckle up and see what these vehicles can do. What is the Hawkei? The Hawkei is a four-wheel drive, light protected mobility vehicle. It's designed to be highly mobile on all terrain types, including off-road, while also providing significant protection against landmines, IEDs, and small arms fire. The Hawkei is 5.8 metres long, 2.4 metres wide, and 2.3 metres high, with a gross weight of 10 tonnes. It has a max speed of 130 kilometres per hour and an operational range of 600 kilometres. All Hawkei types use the same four-wheeled platform, but it comes in two main variants, the four-door and the two-door. The four-door type is a dual cab and can carry up to 5 soldiers, and comes in a variety of different sub-variants, including liaison, command, and reconnaissance. The liaison and command sub-variants include additional communication equipment. The four-door variant features a variety of weapon mount options, including a remote weapon station or manned pintle mount capable of equipping a 50 cal heavy machine gun or a 40mm automatic grenade launcher, as well as manned swing mounts capable of being equipped with 5.56mm or 7.62mm weapons. The two-door utility variant has a single cab which can accommodate up to 3 crew. This variant features a flatbed cargo area that can carry up to 3 tonnes of cargo. This two-door variant will also be used as the basis of a high mobility version of NASAMS, which is currently being procured by the Army. That's correct. Eventually the Hawkei will be equipped with Sidewinder missiles. For more on Australia's NASAMS acquisition, check out the video I made on it here. The Hawkei's protection is focused more around armoured crew cell, which includes applique armour provided by Plasan. The armour is rated to at least protect against rifle fire, grenades and explosive fragments. Like its larger cousin, the Bushmaster, the Hawkei features a V-shaped hull designed to deflect the blast of mines and IEDs. While the armoured crew cab protects the most important things inside the vehicle, the soldiers, it also means that other important areas of the vehicle, like the engine, have little protection. This is a trade-off for the Hawkei's relatively lightweight. On the one hand, it can be flown around under a Chinook helicopter. On the other, the engine block isn't armoured. 4-ton trailers have also been procured for the Hawkei, which increase the vehicle's cargo capacity further and are necessary if a spare tyre is needed, which I'm told is desperately needed. Depending on what weapon loadout the Hawkei uses, we would at least consider it to be an armoured vehicle capable of self-defence, but if more heavily armoured, it could theoretically be used as a light armoured fighting vehicle. The Hawkei is able to undertake a wide variety of missions, including troop transport, command and control, electronic warfare, logistics, air defence, and patrol and reconnaissance. Australia's Hawkei acquisition. The Hawkei was designed in 2010 by Thales Australia as a competitor in Project Land 121 Phase 4, Protected Mobility Vehicle Light. This project would see some of the Army's ageing Land Rovers replaced by a light armoured vehicle. The prototypes were conceptualised, designed and developed in just 18 months. Its design was influenced by another Australian Protected Mobility Vehicle, the Bushmaster, which is also a product by Thales Australia. The Bushmaster had seen extensive service in Afghanistan and Iraq prior to the development of the Hawkei, and the learnings from those experiences were integrated into the new vehicle's design. In 2011, the Department of Defence announced that the Hawkei was the preferred competitor since it would be manufactured and supported locally. In 2015, a final purchase decision was made with 635 four-door variants, 465 two-door variants, and 1,058 trailers to be bought for a total cost of $1.3 billion. Local manufacturing and operational issues. The Hawkeis themselves were to be manufactured at Thales's factory in Bendigo, while the trailers were built in another Thales facility at Eagle Farm in Brisbane. However, a large number of other Australian suppliers are also being used in the production of the Hawkeis. The vehicle cross-drive, steering rack and shafts are being produced in Ballarat, wiper and gear selector assembly being produced in Oakley, fasteners and hardware being made in Dandenong South, and the pneumatic system being produced in Noble Park. Defence also plans to fit a certain number of Hawkeis with electro-optic systems remote weapons stations, which are also produced in Australia. In total, the Hawkei's production is expected to employ about 210 people in Thales's facility in Bendigo, as well as another 180 people working for other contractors. Limited production of the Hawkei began in 2018. However, teething issues discovered during testing delayed the start of full rate production until 2020. In late 2020, a serious braking issue led to Defence temporarily suspending the use of the Hawkeis. By mid-2021, a fix for the braking issue had been announced, but by late 2022, another braking issue had been discovered, which led to even more limits on Hawkeis being used by the Australian Army. These issues were heavily reported by the media at the time, which led to some in the community having a fairly negative view of the platform. All through this period, production of the Hawkeis continued, with the 1,000th Hawkei being delivered in March 2022. In July 2024, the government announced that Thales had completed production on the Hawkeis, having resolved the braking issue, and that a fix would be rolled out to all vehicles. However, as of the filming of this video, we still haven't had confirmation from the Army that the braking fix had been applied to all Hawkeis yet, or that Defence has accepted all 1,100 Hawkeis yet. Beyond the braking issue, I've heard of other issues with the Hawkei, like the lack of space for a spare tyre, unless a trailer is being towed, which makes navigating rough terrain more challenging. Visibility for the driver is also less than you would expect due to the split windscreen. Ukraine's request for Aussie Hawkeis. In 2023, the Ukrainian government requested Hawkeis for the war effort against the Russian invasion. The Australian government has consistently denied this request. Initially, the reason given for declining the request was the braking system, but as time has gone by, the government has started to give more detailed reasons for not giving the Hawkei to the Ukrainians. It included the support systems for the Hawkei not being mature enough, as well as the fact that providing vehicles to Ukraine would reduce the availability of vehicles to the Australian Army. Finally, the government also argued that providing Hawkeis to Ukraine would delay the achievement of final operational capability for the vehicles. However, the other side of the coin is that the Ukrainian war is an invaluable proving ground for new weapons. If we provided Ukraine with a select number of Hawkeis, this would give the vehicle its own baptism of fire and allow us to gather valuable insights into how we could improve it. It might sound a little bit heartless that we would use Ukraine as a testbed for our weapons, but we have to keep in mind that the Ukrainian army is still short of armoured vehicles of all types, and they would be not repeatedly asking for Hawkeis if they didn't think the risk was worth it. But what do you think? Were we sold dud vehicles by Talus like many media reports over the past few years would have us believe? I don't think so. This was a brand new design, and while it was regrettable how long the braking issues took to resolve, these problems finally seem to be squared away. Some teething issues on a new locally produced platform are forgivable in my opinion. It's looking like the Hawkei will shape up to be a good piece of kit for the Australian Army for many years to come, helping to provide our troops with critical protection and mobility on the battlefield. As a more general comment, I think Australian media needs to be a bit more fair and balanced in the way that they report on local defence manufacturing. The Hawkei is a complex bit of kit designed and produced essentially from scratch. It's not surprising that there have been issues with the vehicle. Media pylons during the development and production phase aren't particularly helpful to anyone, particularly if we want to start exporting these to our defence partnerships overseas. And even though Hawkeis weren't involved, the recent crash of two Army HX trucks helping with flood recovery at Lismore highlight how important safety systems are in keeping our soldiers safe, even during peacetime. Our thoughts here at Talking Tactics go out to the soldiers involved in that crash, particularly those who were seriously injured. But what do you think about the Hawkei? Now the kinks have been ironed out, do we have a good bit of kit, or do you think we're going to continue having issues with these vehicles? And should we have provided some to Ukraine, or was it a good call not to? I'd love to see your thoughts in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, and if you're enjoying my videos, I'd really appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. It really helps out a lot if you do. You might have noticed that my walls started to fill up with some models. Thanks very much to spac.au for supplying these models, and if you're interested in getting some of your own, Talking Tactics viewers can get 5% off the camouflage models. They've got a great range of 3D printed models here. We've actually got a few more already ordered, and I can't wait to add them to our shelf right here. So use my link in the description below to check out spac.au and get your 5% off. But that's it for today. I'm Pikos, and we've been Talking Tactics.